This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the only podcast that's stupid enough to record this live from Valencia. Yes, you are right. We're here. Well, I'm here in Spain, ready for the half marathon on Sunday. And I thought I'd ask my friends to join me back in the UK. Now, we've got a special guest today on the show. He's quite small. You may not have seen him at any of the races. No, not you, Tobe. Any of the races. He's back there. Look, he's looking a little bit already in shock. Paige is in the house. Say hello to all your fans, Paige.
Good evening.
Good evening. That was very good. I'm also joined by Abin. She's joined us today. She's got a very busy week coming up, but we won't get into that because we won't want to bore anybody else with what is it? And Speedgoat's here for all you Speedgoat fans. Anybody looking to join the Speedgoat Run Club, how can they do that, Tobe?
You can buy a top and have blue shorts that don't match the blue top.
It's really inclusive. It's really sorry, Tobe.
No super blast.
No super
blast. Cannot run in super blast.
And it's so inclusive, you have to buy a medium top. It's the most inclusive run club in the world. Anyway, that doesn't matter because tonight we're talking about secrets. We're giving away secrets tonight on how to master going from 5K to the marathon. Okay. That's how we're going to help you. And we're genuinely going to be giving you some insights and some tips on moving through the distances. So stand by for that. We'll get to that eventually. By the way, you lot all got hammered in on the review this week. Did you see that?
No, what do you mean you lot?
You lot. Oh, you lot, not me. It was all about, apparently, we need to get quicker into the running, talking about the running stuff. And you lot lead a little bit more energy. You got absolutely hammered. I thought it was brilliant. Honestly, you got rinsed.
Did you write the review?
Yeah, it was from a geezer called FORDY. So if you've not left us a review, you can leave a review, but make it nice. Don't be like that person. Make it nice, okay? Got that? Right. So anyway, we're now going to do the bit that geezer hates. All right. So you've got to thank our sponsors of Skechers. Get over to skechers.co.uk. We really appreciate them. Pagey, in terms of buying shoes and things like that, is there a specific retailer that you use?
Yes, Chris, I'm glad you asked. Start Fitness.
Do you use a code when you go on there?
Another great question, Chris. Yes, 40 runs.
And do you get like anything free when your shoes arrive?
Socks, I believe.
Amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
All sizes, everyone catered for.
Now, Paige, you recently did a marathon. Did you fuel that with any particular product?
Yes, again, great question, Christopher. Kendall Mint.
And is there a code that you use to purchase that?
I believe there is 40 runs.
Now, I know you've got the best coach in the world, but if you wasn't with that best coach in the world, you're extremely humble, would you use a training app of any sorts?
I would. I'd probably use Cupra.
Would you? And I suppose there's probably the best way to get that is to go over to 40runs.com/Cupra, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Right, yeah. Now, team, before we get on to mastering running from 5K to marathon distance, I have had a brilliant idea. Right? I genuinely have had a brilliant idea. So I wanted to run it past the team. And now if you're tuning in live, right, I want you to tell me if you also think this is a brilliant idea and whether you'd like to do it with me. I was thinking about this because there was a geezer on TikTok, Shock, who's done this. And I thought, you know what? I quite fancy this. Now put your hands up. I will go around the team. Who fancies running from Gatwick Airport to Heathrow Airport with me? They don't all come at once with your hands up, by the way.
I wouldn't mind the challenge, just not with you.
What do you mean? It's a bit strong, isn't it? So you wouldn't mind doing it?
No.
But technically, you don't do any running anymore.
Yeah, but I actually live in between Heathrow and Gatwick, so I could stop off for some food.
So you would fancy doing that?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like your worst idea.
Okay, Tobe?
I've done one airport with you. That's enough. I'm out.
It is true. If you've not seen the video where we took Tobe on a trip to Stansted Airport, only 22 miles. He loved it. Yeah, but Tobe, this is better because this is over 26 miles. So I thought you might fancy that. I know. Look, you haven't done a marathon in ages and all this sort of stuff, but I thought you might fancy doing something at that sort of distance.
To just go like straight to ultra.
Yeah, just what's the point? You know what I mean? You wouldn't train for anything anyway if you was to do a marathon or whatever. So you might as well just do this, right?
Just go and run.
Mm.
But at least I'd know that I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, that is true.
That was the other problem with the last airport run.
Yeah, we didn't tell him. Pagey, would you consider Gatwick to Heathrow Ultra that I've just invented?
How long is the distance?
I think it's 28 miles or something. 28 miles. So.
Yeah, why not?
So it's so I think we should do that in the summer.
I've got an idea.
Oh no. Yeah, but is it brilliant like mine?
It's even better than yours. It actually builds on your idea.
Oh, okay.
When we get to the finishing airport,
Yeah.
you've got to get on a flight to wherever I've booked for you.
Great idea.
Is it a one-way ticket?
Who knows?
Why is Tope nodding?
I hope so.
No, I think this is seriously. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'll email Heathrow and I'll email Gatwick
Yeah.
and we'll get it sorted out. I think this is a brilliant. And what we could do is we record a live podcast as we're going along.
Where would we start and where would we finish?
On the runway.
Yeah. No, Tope, in the terminal, have something to eat first. Best to fuel the run.
Yeah, but which airport?
Oh, Gatwick, because you want to get out there as quick as you can, because all around the area is a dump. Isn't it? I'm not being funny, but have you ever been at Gatwick recently? It's not very nice around there, is it? So why don't we start at Gatwick and go? Mind you, Heathrow's not much better, is it?
I was going to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't think it.
I've done myself unstuck there, and I really. Anyway, so let us know whether you would do that or not. I think it's a brilliant idea. It's one of my best ever. So this weekend just gone. Obviously, the weekend coming where I'm in Valencia currently. If you didn't know, if you joined us late, I'm out here to do the half marathon on Sunday. But if you are didn't know, some of us did the Yorkshire Marathon the weekend just gone. Pagey, how was you? I don't think I got your rating. I've got some people's ratings, but not yours. What was your rating for the Yorkshire Marathon?
I'll give it a. I was talking to Zoe about this. She'd give it a 6. I gave it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the weather was.
You can't mark it down for weather.
No,
I think you're like
I'm
Simon.
Not. No, I'm not. Which is why Zoe put it down to a 6. So I think a solid 7. It was a really good start running through the town because it's a beautiful part of the world. But then for about 24 miles, it was pretty boring. and then you run back into the town and it's great again.
That sounds like a 3, not a 7.
I can't give it that low.
No,
I just can't. Because the organisation, when you get there, the organisation I thought was great in terms of bag drop and things like that. So it's the whole package. The course itself, yeah, but there's, that's one thing. But the actual organisation getting there, the park and ride from the train station in seemed pretty good. So I think a 7 for me, but a 6 from Zoe. She hated it.
What about the fellow runners up there? Are they nice? Or?
Well, yeah. What were the participants like?
Really friendly, yeah. Lots of shout outs on course.
Yeah.
For which one I thought they were talking to me, so I was thanking them, which was quite funny. I had to stop myself. Someone said, "Oh, go on, FORDY," and I'm like, "Cheers, mate." And I thought he ain't talking to you.
It's true that did happen. I have to say, I've got to give a shout out to the Yorkshire Marathon because, and the 10 mile, I thought like you say, I think the organisation, like around the start and everything, was brilliant. The people, they were so good. So if you're looking for an autumn marathon or 10 mile, I'd really recommend the 10 mile, by the way, because I think it's a challenging kind of like course. I think you'd have some fun there. I'd recommend it. I really would. I think, and the people of Tobe, have you ever been to Yorkshire?
I've been once,
but
yeah, you never. I don't know. What's the medal like?
Oh, the medal was good. The medal was good. It was massive, like that big.
Medal?
For a podcast, is it? What? What's happening?
Do you get a T-shirt?
Yeah, got a pink T-shirt.
Yeah, T-shirt was cool. So I thought it was a good one. I'd recommend it for a smaller one. I think also what I liked about it, it was just it was like a rolling start, so it wasn't like there wasn't pens. Everyone started at the same time. But I guess that's down to the amount of people that were doing it. I appreciate when there's bigger runs, you've got to manage the starts. But I quite like everyone just started at the same time.
Yeah,
how many people was it?
12,000, wasn't it?
12,001.
12,000, yeah, 12,001. I thought it was brilliant. Honestly, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. We're getting a lot of love for my Heathrow Airport idea, by the way. Have you seen it? Everyone's very excited about my Heathrow Airport. I think we should call it the Long Run Show Ultra. I just named it.
It's a bit of a long name, though.
And what you could do, you could start it, like Kim could start in Southend Airport. Simon could start up in Stansted Airport. Admin, you could start from Gatwick, and we race to Heathrow. I've just expanded it, by the way.
I don't think that's very fair.
No,
Why's that?
Well, Southend's the furthest part away, so
It seems like a Kim problem, to be honest with you. She says she wanted Southend Airport.
Can I start at Heathrow?
Yeah, Tobe, you could run around Heathrow. You could just run around all the coffee shops.
Okay.
By the way, it's worth catching up with Pagey. So, Pagey, give the guys and girls a bit of a backstory on your running, because you this year Yorkshire was your second marathon, wasn't it? So, where are you in your sort of running journey? I know you've got an unbelievable coach. We don't want to, overemphasize that too much, how good he actually is. But in terms of your running journey, where have you come from and where are you at?
So, started running, when did I get with Zoe? In 2016.
Right.
So, Zoe,
by the way, your wife.
Sorry. Yeah.
You're gonna get bollocking.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I am.
Language.
My phone's already lighting up. So
We can have a live domestic.
I'd hate to run between that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on, carry on.
So we started running 2016. Zoe started before me. There was a local 5K that she did, and I got FOMO because I saw how she got that runner's high at the end, and I thought I'll have a bit of this. So I stupidly, we did have a bit of fitness behind us. We'd been doing a lot of cycling, but no running to speak of. And I then thought I can do this, so I just decided to get up the next day in a pair of old New Balance trainers that didn't match, by the way, but that's another story. Yep. And just thought I can run 5K, and I did, but I then I struggled to walk for a couple of weeks after that, as you can imagine. So we then sort of started taking it seriously, doing 5Ks, jumping up to 10 half marathons, and now we're at full marathons. Before lockdown, we were due to do Manchester, but that obviously didn't happen. And then we kind of fell out of love with running, really just become a chore. We were sort of getting up with, we're just running for running's sake. And then last year, Zoe said, right, we either knock it on the head or we do a marathon. And we chose Manchester, and the rest is that. Done a few halves this year and a few 10Ks, and the times are slowly coming down, which is brilliant. Seeing real progress, and endurance is a good thing as well that's coming as well, which, as you say, Ford, is down to our incredibly humble coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't big him up any more than probably he needs to be bigged up. I think it's just no point doing that because the guy's so. What are you laughing at, Tony? He's so humble. But I tell you what, I do want to do, because I'm just getting it now. I do want to talk about you, and you don't talk about it, and that's your amazing weight loss story. I'm trying to get the picture, but it's not letting me send it. But I don't know if it's going to come out on the camera. Hang on. I'm going to try and show this to the camera. It's not going to work because where my hotel room's behind me. So if I WhatsApp this to you, while we hear about this, try and get this picture up of because it's remarkable. So you know the picture I'm talking about, and I've just WhatsApped it to you. See if you can get that onto the screen.
Have we got permission to share this, by the way?
Oh, do we have to ask that? You
Yeah.
say I will go. Page, can we show everyone?
It's fine. I think it's probably on my Facebook page as well. So
yeah,
that's fine.
So let's say Toby, you got that, yeah?
Yeah, it's just put the camera. It's probably the easiest way, isn't it?
What's that? No one will see that, Toby.
They can.
Can you? I don't know if you can see that.
I'm not in a special hotel room.
Can you see that picture?
I can see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the guys and girls at home can see that. It's unbelievable, bro. So what size were you there in that picture?
Oh, I don't know in terms of weight, because this is going to sound harsh on me, but the scales only go up to a certain level, don't they? So once you get up to a certain point, that's it. They just say get off, or one at a time. So I didn't weigh myself for years. I reckon I could have been about 30 stone.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, and so just before I met Zoe, I lost I got down to 16 stone, and that's where I am at the moment. I hover between 15.5 and 16 stone.
Is that reliant on how many yum-yums you have?
It's reliant on a lot of things, yeah.
So I only mentioned the yum-yums because you had them before the Manchester Marathon. That's why.
Yeah, stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Right, so it was that just was running part of that sort of weight loss journey?
No, it wasn't. Running has helped manage it, has helped keep me stay fit and active. What I did was I just completely cut out everything. Everything that all the bad stuff, and just got more active. Just little things like when you go to work, walking up the escalators rather than just standing still. And obviously cutting out a lot of food and going to the gym, following a program. I think when you're that big, I'm careful how I word this, but it's easier to lose weight if you're sort of going to be dedicated. Like now, I think if I wanted to lose a stone, I'd have to really sort of go hell for leather. But when you're
there we go. There's the picture.
Yeah. So I think you said this once, Fordy, about yourself, but you can tell I look like I've eaten myself.
Yeah, you've consumed your own body.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's honestly anybody who's been on a life-changing journey like that, whether it's weight loss or whatever, in terms of something you've wanted to achieve like that, it's incredible, and it should be celebrated, brother. I know you obviously you do a little bit, but you've got to be so proud of yourself because that's unreal. Over 30 stone to get down.
Yeah.
What made you decide? Like, what was the point at which you went, I need to change, I need to do something?
I wish I could say I woke up one day and had an epiphany, said, right, I'm going to lose all this weight. It coincided with me actually buying my first property in a flat and cutting down. So where I would buy lunches and breakfasts, I would actually take breakfast and lunches in, and just little, honestly, just little things like that. And I think subconsciously I was like, well, I can make my lunches and breakfast a bit more healthier, and just drinking more water. And I don't know if you've done it. You sort of do the belt loop test, where you all of a sudden you think, oh, hang on, I can go one more belt loop up here, and then I've got to take a couple more belt loops up, and then before I knew it, the trousers that I was wearing, they were done up, and I could put them on straight away. And it was sort of like things like that. And I didn't want to believe it at first because people were saying, you're losing a little bit of weight. I was like, no, I don't think so. I've just got a bigger shirt on or something like that. Just used to make a joke out of it. And then eventually I think I am. And then I got a friend who was like a big gang in the gym, and he was like, look, come to the gym. We'll do a program for you. And just doing a lot of stuff on the CrossFit, on the rowing machine, a few weights, doing that, and then started going to spin classes, and then it just fell off. And then you obviously get a bit, God, this is really good. What more can I do?
Amazing.
Then I met Zoe, and the rest is that.
It's amazing, isn't it? You need to get son in Valencia with me and show off your bod. You get a proper tan up if you was over. It's lovely over. It's 21 degrees today.
I've checked the weather. I've just looked at flights. I'll be on my way.
Honestly, it's cracking weather over here at the moment. I can't wait for Sunday. I think it's a good time because it's a feel-good story. What Pagey's story. I think if you've got the music, I think we roll into the lightning round before we get onto the sort of main subject. I think let's back that off because I think now he's captured the viewer's attention. Let's dive deep into his psychology. You've got the. Here he is. Right, son. So, from my hotel room in Valencia, are you ready for this? And you've got to be on your toes, all right? You've got to be lively with your answers.
I'll try.
Have you ever seen the lightning round?
Yes.
Honestly,
just explain the rules again.
Answer very quickly. Otherwise, I'll shout at you. Right, you ready?
I'm used to that.
Favourite distance?
Half.
To run?
Half
marathon. If you had to run the Yorkshire Marathon again, would you rather run it with me or Toby?
Neither.
That's nice. Vest or a t-shirt?
T-shirt.
Favourite running shoe?
Kinvara Pro. Brilliant shoe. Absolutely fantastic.
Are you upset that they're discontinuing that?
Yeah, I am. But I don't know if you're winding me up or not. But
red or brown soles?
Red.
Oh. Okay, so the night before a marathon, would you have beetroot or peppers on your pasta?
Definitely beetroot.
Definitely beetroot. Does that work? Does it?
It
Does
does.
that get you around?
It does, yeah. It does.
Um,
Makes you regular as well.
one track playlist.
Oh, anything by Oasis.
Okay. If you had let's say you had a marathon booked, but you'd done no training, would you still turn up and run?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Milk in your coffee, yes or no?
Milk and tea. I don't drink coffee.
Oh. Who's taller, me or Hayden?
Hayden.
That's an absolute lie. And lastly, bucket list race. And you can't say Valencia because I'm out here. Go.
London.
Oh, that's it, Toad. Roll the titles. He's done. He did well, didn't he, Admin?
Very well. Is that because you would rather run with me than either of these two?
Exactly.
So I've got a few observations.
Yeah.
I reckon we could run together. You're probably too quick for me, but that's all right.
You don't do any running, Admin?
Yeah, but I might do again.
Oh.
And then you could definitely be a member of the Speed Goat Running Club.
Why's that?
Because he said he has beetroot and pasta. Do you not remember what Toby ate?
Ah, young Toby. He's a part of the... Yeah, but he's not... But he's... Actually, now you'll come from 30 stone to 15, you might fit into a medium top, because Tobe does. So
I think Tobe's just unique, though.
It's very unique.
He's just... There's no way. You know, pictures, it'll be coming over my belly button. There's no one wants to see that. Wants to see that.
Any other tidbits from that, Admin?
Basically, don't like you very much.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird.
There.
Right, let's crack on because I'm getting a bit hot here. I wish I'd put the aircon on. So it's quite hot.
On actually, look a bit red.
Yeah, I know. As I said, it's quite hot.
Already,
21 degrees there. I might have caught the sun when I was walking around town. Right, so we wanted to talk about briefly because some of you guys and girls are getting out there and thinking about maybe transitioning up to the marathon. You may be thinking about transitioning from 5K to half marathon. It's that sort of time of year where we're all sort of planning out next year. Yeah. And some of it might seem like quite like, oh, I don't really want to do this. So we wanted to sort of break it down each distance and sort of, give you some insights and sort of tips and ways to sort of, just look at each distance and help you guide you through if you're stepping up from one to another. So there's not specifically, one we're going to focus in on. We've all done, I think, Tobe, have you done a marathon?
I have done one in the past, yeah.
Okay, done one past. I mean, you've done one, haven't you? Right.
Three.
So we've all been from 5K up to the marathon distance recently, haven't we? So if we start, I think this is a good topic because I think get involved in the comments as well. Marissa's with Valencia with me. Marissa, can you let me know where you are, what hotel you are? We'll meet up tomorrow. But yeah, so if you're transitioning from 5K, I wouldn't necessarily go from 5K to marathon. I think that's a stupid idea. That's like doing a marathon with no training. So I think you've got to be strategic in your training, right? And you've got to be building a sensible amount of endurance and stepping up slowly. Yeah, this is something that we want to build up very, very slowly. Yeah, because what you don't want to do is get injured. This is the most stupid thing you could do. So I think firstly, understanding each distance. If I said to you, admin, 5K distance, 3.1 miles for anybody who's in miles, random. What would you say the sort of key elements of the 5K distance in terms of understanding it? What would you need to sort of focus on if you was training for a 5K?
Training for like your first 5K, so starting from nothing.
Not necessarily. You could be coming down.
I think 5K is a really tricky one, actually. I think it's actually the hardest one out of all of them.
Agreed.
Because I just think it's a really, really tricky distance to get right because it's a good one where you can take it easy and you can go hell for leather. But to try and crack it, I haven't cracked it. I can't crack it because I think it takes a lot of confidence to run a 5K properly. And I think you've got to have a lot of self-belief if you really, really want to go at it. Otherwise, it's very easy to get into a comfort zone of going, it's 5K, it's 3 miles, and you build yourself up. So you do the couch to 5K or you run, walk, and you go, right, I'll ease myself in, and then you get into this comfort of I can run 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles, as you said. But then to either push yourself at it or to get further takes a shift in, like, from a mental point of view, I think, to know that, well, I've done that and I can do more. That's not the limit of what I can do, or that's not the limit of the speed that I can run that distance at.
Yeah, I think we've yeah, you're right. I think it's the hardest distance to train for. Even but catch the 5K.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but then if you go back and start training for a 5K, it's really, really hard. You need to focus on speed. Don't underestimate running economy in terms of speed, because of the efficiencies you're looking for over that distance, because they'll be multiplied. If you've got like terrible form like Ben has, then that's going to be multiplied over the 5K distance. But it requires in training sort of, well, a what's it load of high intensity work, intervals, your tempo runs and stuff like that, lactate threshold work. But also the thing is with a 5K, which I think people underestimate, is the short recovery times. Because the chances are you're doing multiple high efforts or multiple hard efforts in the week to train for that 5K. And now that can also be included for catch the 5K if you actually take a step back, because multiple high intensity for somebody who's doing catch the 5K can mean literally 3 run to walks a week because they've done nothing.
Yeah.
So it's all relative, yeah. So moving on to the 10K, because I do want to get through. We've got quite a bit to get through. Now, Pagey, you're going for a 10K time in a couple of weeks, right?
Yep.
Now, obviously, you're not specifically training for that. You're taking the fitness that you've got from Yorkshire, and we're going to throw caution to the wind. But the 10K, it balances speed with endurance. It's starting to move from that out and out, I'm going to, like admin said, I'm just going to fly by the seat of my pants and die, to a little bit of endurance. You've got to be able to maintain a pace. So think about, like as you said, getting in towards that lactate threshold. But runners need to develop an aerobic capacity, but also that lactic threshold as well. You need to improve that. Now, if you was to say to, let's say Toe has done no training for anything, right? But you had to give him some tips on training for a 10K, what would you say to him?
I think one of the biggest tips, but you could say this at any distance, that I find is it's being comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, if that makes sense. It's that this hurts, but it's not actually going to hurt any more than what it's hurting now. So then it's just a case of, right, okay, being comfortable with the fact that it's hurting, or it's a bit painful, or you might be a bit out of breath, but nothing's actually happening. So can you push it a bit more? And that's the biggest thing I give whenever I speak to anyone about running. It's that being comfortable, feeling uncomfortable.
Very much so in the 10K as well. It's that
yeah,
I'm at 7K. This is really not a very nice place to be.
But I'm at 7K. How much more you got? And having the confidence of, right, come on, that's what we've got, which is what I'm hopeful to do in a couple of weeks. But I must admit, I've done a few 10Ks this year, and I've run it a bit lazy in the middle bit. I've gone out hard, and then I've kind of settled in, and then gone to push it. And I need to have more confidence and bravery, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but to come on, let's go.
Alexander S just wrote, when it hurts, how do you deal with it? You speed up.
Yeah, exactly.
You either speed up, right?
It depends on what the type of hurting is, though. If it's a hurting, it's just, I've done some damage here, then slow down. But if it's just, this doesn't feel comfortable. But again, I think you could do that for all runs, which is probably why a 5K is not a bad run, because you're just going to run the hell for leather for 5K, which is a long distance, by the way. I'm not downplaying the distance at all. But it's a case of, right, whereas 10K, I think, is the hardest one to master.
I think strategically it's the hardest one to master.
Yeah, because we need to know when to stick or twist.
Yeah, you either go out like a loony, and then you hang on for dear life, or you're strategic with it and you pick a point at which you drop it.
Yeah,
it's one or the other, and either can work, to be honest with you. But honestly, Alexander, who said it, it's like, I'll give you an example. So in the marathon distance, right, if it's hurting, you can do one of two things, which I think. You can literally stop, reset, and start again, because it's like a shock to the system. You stop and you go, okay, and now I'm going to go off and I'm going to whatever you. Instead of trying to sit there and slog out whatever you're trying to slog out, you stop and you do a circuit breaker, and then you start again. Ask Hayden. I did it in London because I was just like in nothing. I was in no man's land. I was in like, do you know what I mean? Or you go, you know what? I'm going to toe this. I'm going to go the other way. And you start lengthening your stride. You start thinking about your form. You start opening up the taps a bit, even if you can hold it to the next lamppost. But that can bring you back to life, and that can take some of that mind off of the hurting. Anyway, moving on. So half marathon, in terms of understanding the sort of the distance a little bit, because I want to come on to like the workouts, the key workouts for each, and how to move through them. So the half marathon is primary, or more so because I can't speak, but it's more aerobic based, yeah. But it does involve that intensity, which will push your endurance, because again, if you're gunning it or whatever, it will push your endurance. In terms of training, and we'll come on to like key workouts and things like that, but prioritizing like long runs and sustained effort or pace in those sort of middle to longer runs is key to training for a half marathon and understanding that distance, because you're going to be out there for a reasonable amount of time, right? So you do have to, and that's why I say about the aerobic element of it, you have to be able to just keep going. Now, so for you, in terms of the half marathon, in terms of understanding each distance, what's your sort of biggest takeaway when you do? And to be fair to Toe, I know he does no training, right? But he has actually run a few half marathons this year. One of them we still can't understand, would be in the Great North Run. I still don't understand that. But put that to one side. In terms of half marathon, what's your sort of biggest takeaway? If you was explaining the distance to somebody who's looking to go from 10K to half, what's the focus on?
Yeah, I mean, it is that real tricky one, because you are in that point of you can still push it for a half, but you've got to be careful because it is that distance. I tend to take, and to be honest, it's a bit the way my body works, is I always go a bit easier on the first sort of 6 miles, something like that. And then, what are you trying to think of when I last ran?
No, I'm just when you say the first half, Toby, it's usually when your mates are in the bush having a pee that you usually then speed up.
That was about 6 miles.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah,
sure.
We got to about 6 miles, and then some my mates were they were ahead, and I went past them. They said, "I'll see you in a minute." As I went around the toilet and around the corner and saw the toilets lined up, they then missed. If they literally come around the corner, you've literally got to use the toilet. But I never saw them again till the end.
I know, we saw them at the end
when I had my towel. But that's sorry, I won't go into towels. So yeah, it's tricky. I always find that I like to sort of take the first half to, you know that you're not taking it easy, but you could put a bit more in if you need, and then that second half, see how you feel, and then put your foot down a bit and don't let your mates catch up. Basically.
So yeah, again, you're talking about endurance and things like that. That longer distance, you're out there for longer. Now, moving on to the marathon distance, we're not going to talk about ultras because we're waiting until next year when we do our long run show ultra. That's, I would say, much more mental. You really got to have. I think the half as well to a degree, but it's
a different level.
Yeah, it's fully, look, in terms of, it's fully aerobic. Yeah, you've got significant mental and physical endurance that you need to do that. Yeah, long runs are the essential element, I would say, if you're doing your first, and don't underestimate nutrition.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, if you got, let's say, I don't know, you could get it so badly wrong, you could overfuel. Yeah, you could have so much beetroot on the night before the race that you could end up like proper in trouble on the day, right? Or you could go the other way and not have enough, yeah, and it's still be banging trouble as well. So there's so much to the marathon distance. I think stepping up to that, just like as I always say, just because you see everybody on TikTok doing it, don't underestimate the physical, but the mental side of things, but also the nutrition, how much that can be key. Hydration as well. The amount of people say, "Oh, my calves are cramping." Well, did you take any electrolytes on? No. Well, hello. Anyway, so let's move through because I'm conscious of time. I want to get to the bar in the hotel. So in terms of workouts, I thought this would be a good way to break it down. And key workouts for every distance. So I thought this would be a good one to do. So everybody bangs on about interval training. Oh, to run a marathon, you've got to do loads of intervals. Well, yes and no. Yeah, it's not the be all and end all. It will help. Okay, but like as we said, the focus in a marathon distance really should be on your long runs. Yeah, that's the key part of it. But boosting speed, VO2, your interval training will help that. Now, for the 5K and 10K, I would say actually some of the sessions or some of that training interval is similar-ish in terms of the speedier workouts, that high effort in the week. So I'm talking like 400, 800 repeats. I don't know. You've got a lot of 5K pace chucked in. Even in your 10K training, you were chucking a fair amount of 5K pace in there to really push the limit. With the half marathon and marathon, it's more sort of, in terms of the interval training, it's more sort of 1 mile repeats and that kind of thing, maybe 2 miles on, 2 miles off. They're sort of longer intervals versus the shorter distances, which will basically, so you're getting that intensity, but you're reducing sort of, I don't know, the rest time to say, whatever it is. But 1 mile repeats, for example, at 10K pace in half marathon training is brilliant. Okay, that will really, really help you. In terms of training for the two admin, like 5K, 10K, half marathon, do you alter your sort of the speed work, the interval training? Do you alter it at all, or do you go, well, I'm marathon training and I'm just going to keep doing a set of intervals per week, or do you extend them out? Like I said, so there may be mile repeats instead of like 400 repeats.
Yeah, I think you need a mix of both of them, because otherwise you get comfortable with running that speed for potentially a short distance when actually you need to build it up to be able to hold it for longer, or for actually the easy work to feel easy over that longer distance. So it helps to build your endurance as well as those speed, like the speed in there as well. I think just doing the same thing also mentally week in, week out becomes repetitive and boring. And I think that's where, if you get bored, you're easily just drop off. So actually going, hold on, I need to do a longer interval session, or I need to do shorter work. Running the same distance 3 or 4 times a week, doing the same speed, the same thing, isn't going to get you very far, very fast.
Pagey, for you, 5K, 10K, half marathon, again, just on the intervals, to say, well, I want to move on quicker through this, but do you? I mean, obviously, I'm your coach, so it's just. But in terms of do you prefer the sort of the high intensity, shorter stuff, like for that 10K training, or do you prefer the marathon, half marathon training, where it's slightly longer intervals?
Longer intervals, but with a bit of variety. So there will be, for example, there'll be an hour run with a 15-minute warm-up or a 10-minute warm-up, and then you'd have the 3 goals. So you'd have your marathon pace at 10 for 10 minutes, you'd have your half marathon, then it moves straight into your half marathon pace for another 10 minutes, and then for the final bit you'd go to your 10K pace, and then you'd finish with a cool down.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's not actually, to be honest with you, this whole section is no point really talking to you about, because it involves training for races.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally just thinking that I was trying to work out if I've actually ever trained for I wasn't going to say a 5K, but I could say anything. But I always find it's that thing with the longer distances, they're the ones you think about training for. And sometimes you get around to doing it.
I don't know, Tom. I reckon you don't need to train, and you could just rock it out and
just turn up and run.
Just turn up and run it.
How far?
Marathon, easy. Someone like you. You swam 2 miles just swimming 60 meters.
That is true.
I got told the other day at my lesson.
Sorry.
No idea what we're talking about. Listen to Toad's podcast when he told us about how he trained for the Swim the Serpentine that was 2 miles long, and he got up to 60 meters, and then swam. And by the way, scared of water, still is. So Toad, you was back at your lessons for training for swimming, even though you now have completed the distance that you need to.
Well, I paid up to the end of the year.
We know.
Anyway, I got told that I could actually move up to the next class.
Well, you could go from the kids. Does that mean you still have to have your woggle, Toad?
No, I could go from like improver to intermediate.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Have you told them that you swam 2 miles?
They all know, yeah. They can't
believe
believe
your medal
it.
on, Toad?
Oh yeah, I always take it every time
with your woggle. Look, moving on. Come on. Oh, I don't know. Right, tempo runs. Who likes a tempo run?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Toby, you don't even know what one is. Admin?
No.
You don't like them?
No.
Why not?
Doesn't run.
Amateur. No. Tempo runs are really good. They're building your lactate threshold. Yeah. They're looking at building that sort of sustained pace without fatiguing. The more you do them, the better, right? I think for the 5K, 10K, ideally you're looking for 20, 30 minutes comfortably hard, let's call it. But no more than that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm laughing, not what you're saying, because I just remember that half that we tried to crack, that's 2-hour half in Lee Valley, and you were like, I was like, my leg's killing, and you were like, it's just lactate.
Yeah, it's just lactate.
Get over it.
Yeah, it's just lactating your legs. Just ignore it. In terms of tempo runs, if you're doing a half marathon, I would say you're looking probably around 35, maybe 40 to 45 minutes. I would never do more than 45 minutes in really. But again, at that sort of that race pace, that half marathon race pace, which is probably what your lactate threshold is anyway, to be honest. Maybe a touch under that if you can handle it. But again, that's where you want to be, sort of a tempo run for half marathon training, about 40, 45 minutes. It's a great session. Make sure you do warm up. For the marathon, I think it's a little bit different because you want to start off with your marathon pace and then sort of build into that, let's say, half marathon pace, that lactate threshold. But you want to start off about 20, 30 minutes and then build it out to an hour over the course of, let's say, the 16 odd weeks. But again, it's a really good builder, let's say, in working that lactate threshold. It's so good if you can get on top of your tempo runs in your training. But just alternate them, just change them depending on what you're training for, because 45 minutes is quite a lot if you're like sort of marathon training. You because you might have like 20 miles at the weekend. So again, just make sure you're getting the right blend in the week of what you're doing, is what I would say. So just quickly talking about tempo runs. No, there's no point asking Tobe. Pagey, do you enjoy a tempo run?
Yeah.
Do you feel you get a benefit from them?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I do. Because it gives me the confidence to run at that pace, which I can then take into a race day.
Okay. Yeah.
I find it for my own benefit, running at a goal pace, practicing goal pace or target pace that you're then going to take into a run, beneficial.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. The next sort of run to sort of talk about in terms of key workouts is obviously the long run. Don't neglect the long run if you're training for a 5K. It's really important, I think, as a coach, to still maintain that sort of 6 to 8 miles in terms of a long run. Now, whether that's, all easy pace, aerobic building, thank you very much, and just enjoying life out there, away from the intensity of the week of training for a 5K, which could be, overwhelming for some. I think with a 10K, it's nice to get up to do about 10 miles. Is a lovely, in terms of, again, moving different distances. But 10 miles is a nice one with some pace in it. So funny enough, I wrote a plan for somebody today, and it's that little kicker at the end where it's got like 2 miles at 10K pace dropped in at the end. So yeah, 6 miles and then nice and easy bobbing along, having a chat with Pagey. Lovely. This is beautiful out here, mate. Oh, yeah, lovely. Like your Kivara Pros boss. And then wallop, you're into 10K pace for the last 2 miles. But that, again, will help build that stamina. And again, running a little bit on tired legs is a good thing to do. Pagey, I mean, again, I refer to you because I know I put them in your plan. You like them, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
They're really good ones to do.
But I think it's also good, rather than if you're doing a long run and all you're just doing is at one pace, it's good to know that it keeps you on your toes, because sooner or later something's going to come. So it just makes the run go quicker, if that makes sense. It makes it less sort of boring if all you're doing is a certain distance at a certain pace, nice and easy. You know that it's coming around the corner, so it sort of sharpens the mind.
Yeah, and I think that's the same. And if you move up to half marathon or marathon distance, obviously half marathon, you want between 10 and 14 miles, depending on whether it's your first or not. But the same with the marathon. Don't be afraid to throw in like sort of goal pace in their target pace, whether that's half marathon pace. So like we spoke about it, that tempo, that lactate threshold pace, if you're half marathon training, drop some of that in, whether it's halfway or at the end, whatever. Marathon, if you've got a specific goal in mind, drop some of that pace in at the end in tired legs. Or if you haven't got a goal in mind, you want to improve, just step down the pace a little bit. So just increase that for a little bit and then sort of back out of it. Stepping through it again will help you improve on those long runs. So it's not just a long, slow run, which they're very good, by the way. They're good aerobic builders, yeah. But if you can mix them up, it's a bit of a win. Tobe, when you actually did some long runs, yeah, I know. Did you? Because you was helping Si the other year, weren't you?
When I went out to Chicago for a 5K.
Yeah, for that 5K.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, the two of you were out there and you were mixing up pace, right?
I did kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
When we were going out there mixing up the pace, and yeah, he didn't want to keep up at the end.
Was you dropping it at the end, or was you dropping it like alternating?
Alternating. So it did sort of 3 miles, sort of easy, 3 miles harder, and then on the last one, just see if I could kill Si, basically.
I think that's a great tactic. Now the other run that I do want to, or the other sort of run, let's call it, I do want to talk about before we get into just finish it off, or key workouts, I say, is that recovery run. Is that easy? That easy one in there. That's that nice little sort of, I don't have to think about it. Sort of go out and do that, and they're just as important, believe it or not, as some of the other sessions you're going to do. If you're going out there and you think you're going to go and do a recovery run, but you're running it in zone 3 at like just some stupid pace, then it's going to get no benefit.
I think it's one of the easiest ones to get wrong, because I think everyone goes too fast. No one actually goes at the pace that they're meant to be going at. I think of very few people that really do recovery runs properly. No,
I agree 1,000,000%. We, I'll Pagey tell you, I set him, and he gets alarms on his watch with the coaching, performance coaching that we use at FORDY runs. It will deliberately tell him that if he's going too fast. And I love that he's getting basically an electric shock every time he goes too fast. Because it's true. Otherwise, if you don't, it's true though, Paige, isn't it? If you go out there and you run to feel, you'll be. It's like me. If I go out there and go, I'm going to go easy, but I don't know. Maybe I like Tobe, I don't wear a watch. I'll be running it at like 8.5 minute miles, which is just stupid because that's not where I need to be. I need to be like 9.5, super easy.
Yeah, it helps keep you honest. It helps, it does. I find the structure of that helps me.
Yeah. And I think and someone's just asked for tricks for doing recovery runs. Get your pace right. Make sure it is really, really easy. But also have a play about with your form. Think about, the way you're running economy, hip position, head position, all these sort of stuff. Yeah. Think about that sort of stuff when you're on those recovery runs. But getting them right can set the rest of the week up in terms of that easy run. Make sure that it is.
And for your recovery runs, also the most comfiest running trainers you've got.
Which would be what, Pagey?
Probably the Ghost Max.
Oh,
they feel like they just feel like I'm putting on a pair of pillars. Oh, nice and easy recovery miles.
So, as someone who does a lot of easy recovery miles, especially after those big races that you don't train for, any particular shoe that Tobe. Let's say on Monday, you just done a big race, and on a Monday you had to go out and do a run, which would be unheard of. Firstly, you doing a race, and then obviously going out and doing a run. What shoes would you wear?
Probably something like a Max Road.
Max Road. Well, okay, good. I like it though. Skechers.co.uk. Sabrina, you?
Do you know what I was going to say? Which you can't. I don't think we can get anymore. The Skechers. Do you remember those Go Rides? Those Go Rides.
Oh, the 11s. I think. No, they stopped. All the new stuff's coming out next year.
They were so good.
What, as a recovery shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. To be fair to Skechers, they do make the best recovery shoes, I would say. Like Tobe, we muck about with Tobe because he wears his Max Roads to run a 10K, winter 10K, still beats us all. But the Skechers stuff, the running shoes that they do for recovery runs are brilliant. And not that they sponsor this at all, because all their stuff's coming out next year, but they are so comfy. It's unbelievable how comfy they are. Right. Okay. I would say in terms of race-specific tips, I would say fueling strategy, right, is paramount.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wouldn't have like 4 beetroots the night before you do a marathon. That's just stupid. Who would do that?
Well, you always do what you practice, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Number one tip, isn't it?
Yeah, you do what you practice, yeah. Pacing. Don't underestimate having a pacing strategy.
Yeah.
In terms of the race. Like someone said, oh, how do I, run and all this sort of stuff. It's like you need a pacing strategy on how you, and it differs from distance to distance, like we've gone through tonight. Yeah, you will tackle each differently. So if I said to you, admin, you've got to run a 5K, you go, right, I'm going to go and run hard. But if I said to you, admin, you've got to go and run a marathon, you wouldn't run hard from the start, would you?
No. Well,
yeah, unless you're in Chicago. Yeah, another story for another day. The other thing as well is mental focus.
Yeah.
And I know we spoke about the marathon in terms of it being that more mental battle, but actually a 5K also, right, can be gut busting and can screw you up in terms of mentally into being in the room the whole time, because you can check out on that because you can literally just blow up.
Yeah,
holding that mental focus for a 5K is just as hard, I believe, as holding it for a marathon. It's tough out there. So again, having that those 3 things right for race day, you've got to get it on. Now, if I said to you then, just to finish, what would be your 3 common pitfalls for somebody, and it doesn't matter what distance they're training for, what 3 pitfalls should they avoid? Speak up.
Overtraining.
Yep.
Not doing enough training before going to a race. And trying new things before race day.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you them. Agree. Amy, got any others to add to that?
Mine's going to be trying something new on race day rather than before race day. And I had another one in my head just then. Oh my God, it's gone.
But also in training, don't neglect this is, in terms of the training element, not just the race.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, was the training.
Don't neglect the hills, obviously.
Don't neglect the hills. Oh, it's gone.
Okay. Pagey, we'll come back to you. Admin, we'll come back. Pagey?
For me, having just done, so I've done 2 marathons this year, and the biggest sort of difference Zoe and I did was our fueling, but not just on the day. It was actually the build up and the carb loading. Honestly, I can't tell you how important that is. If you could just take one thing from this, it's getting your fueling, not just race day, but build up to it. I've conditions in Yorkshire were a bit challenging, shall we say, and but I finished Yorkshire with feeling so much stronger and than I did in Manchester, and the conditions in Manchester were ideal for running, and I solely put that down to fueling and the fueling strategy leading up to it, starting up 3 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was just carb loading.
I know someone who does that a lot. Carb loading. They don't necessarily mean they're racing anything or running a race, but I know someone who does a lot of carb loading every day. Tobe, do you know anyone like that?
Yeah, Sabrina does quite a bit of.
And she don't do no running, so yeah, there could be. I mean,
I've remembered, by the way.
Oh yeah, go on. What was it?
It was not having a plan, because it's really easy for the nerves to kick in, and the biggest pitfall is not being prepared. If you're not prepared, you're in for trouble.
I think actually being prepared throughout your whole training is a good shout as well. Understanding exactly what you've got to do today, tomorrow, this week. Understanding where you're going, what the journey is. But yeah, I think you bang on. Overtraining. I think ignoring recovery is one that you can't, just because you've got a marathon doesn't mean you have to run every day. Those rest days are just as important as anything else, making sure you're stretching and recovering.
You normally need more rest than you think as well.
But that's what it's about. It goes back to your point of overtraining. Yeah, so you get stuck in, I want to get out there, but no. The other one is skipping that strength training. Yeah, we all know about Pagey, but it's true though, isn't it? It's like, I'll sack that off. If I run, I'll be all right. Don't underestimate how much being strong will help you as you train through whatever.
So you need your heels.
Whatever distance. I like the fact Toby's adding value, but whatever distance it is, whether it's 5K, like we said, going up to the marathon, neglect strength and conditioning will undo you on every level. It doesn't matter what you're training for. And it's the same like as Pagey was talking about with his weight loss story. You know, he was in the gym, he was doing spin classes. There's a reason for that, right? So again, if you're coming from catch to 5K, you know, don't neglect. That's brilliant, by the way, you do that. But also think about the cross training and other stuff you can do alongside the running. Help that.
Yeah, spin classes are good. I do enjoy those.
You still do them?
Just
Yeah. We've got spin bikes at home, so we try and do one a week.
Would you say that makes a big difference to your training?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just a different form of aerobic, but also strength as well. And rowing. Don't rule out going on a rowing as well. That's really good.
Swimming.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, Tom. Now
we're your domain now, Tobes, aren't we? Swimming.
Do you reckon you could like swim and like maybe do one bike ride in a year and just take that as your training for a marathon?
100%. 100%. Tobe, if I said to you, based on your training of doing a swimming event and doing a biking event, if I said, Tobe, we've got to run a marathon next weekend, do you reckon you could do it?
I don't know.
We need a lot of beetroot. We need a lot of beetroot.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't go too much beetroot.
Why would you not go too much beetroot?
But surely is an optimum amount. You wouldn't want, you've got to find that.
I mean, is there an optimal amount of beetroot for Tobe? It's a serious question.
What if he's done no training?
If he's done no training. No, he has. He done a bike ride and he done some swimming.
Oh, and he swam 60 metres before that day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that counts.
But I've also swum 2 miles now.
Yeah, he swam 2 miles now.
All right, 2 miles and 60 metres.
Yeah.
In a year.
And he done a 100-mile bike ride. He technically, he could run a marathon. That constitutes his training. But the point is how much beetroot should he have?
A lot.
You don't think there'd be like side effects?
There could be side
Probably,
effects.
But Toby, you're going to need to get round one way or another, and that's your only hope. So
let's not talk about the side effects. Let's wrap it up. So I don't know whether that's been useful or not tonight. Pagey, do you think that's added any value to our listeners tonight?
I hope so. There was just one comment, if I can. I saw someone in the comments said about having a good sleep the day before a race. So Zoe's an insomniac, so I wouldn't sort of put too much pressure on yourself if sleep. If you're struggling with sleep, don't let that ruin the race or get that into your head. Because although it is important, Zoe done the marathon, done Manchester on about 2 hours sleep.
Oh.
No, it's true. You're right. Whoever made the comment, absolutely. If you can get sleep,
I don't want to sort of pull them up.
But what you want to do is you want to be thinking throughout the whole process. Again, I go back to my point about recovery, making sure you're not neglecting that recovery. Sleep is the most critical element of that. So through that whole training plan, you should be saying you can get, but planning in how much sleep you're getting. As I always say, everybody hopefully now knows on this podcast, on this channel, the only thing I track out of anything is my sleep. It's true, Abin. You're in it. It's the only thing that I am addicted to tracking is my sleep because it's so critical in terms of recovery. Obviously, it helps my ADHD and all the other stuff I suffer with. If I've got had no sleep, I'm even worse than normal. But it's like it's the most important thing in terms of recovery. And if you can get your recovery right, then you can train well. And that's the key takeaway. If that's the only thing you take away from this award-winning podcast is that get that right. So you made a good point about sleep, but don't be anxious about it the night before if you don't get any, because it's totally normal that you won't.
Yeah.
Make sure you built that in over your training plan that you've got that built in. I think that's it. Somehow we've managed to do an hour of this show. Now I've got to get to the bar because I've got my friends downstairs. I mean, are you doing any running at some point in the near future?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, tell all.
Well, I'm actually going to go out for a run.
Yeah. How far?
5K.
Park run?
No, on my own.
Oh. No, Bill not coming. No, he's too far.
That'd be a stupid idea.
He'd do 10K by the time you've done 5K.
Yeah, and probably more.
Yeah, probably more, actually. Hero. And he'd be wearing a camo fleece. So you're going actually running, so that's good news. Tobe, there's no point asking you if you're doing any running. Are you doing anything else, Tobe? Like, and any other adventures that you want to let us in on?
No, I did actually go for a run last weekend.
What?
Last weekend you went for a run. Well done,
and that
Tobe.
was it.
Okay.
So now it's been about when I need to work out because I don't want to do 2 runs in 7 days.
No.
So I need to just work out that I don't overlap that. So
yeah, no point.
So maybe a Monday in my easy pace
recovery run.
Yeah, in his
recovery from last weekend.
And Pagey, what are you running this weekend? We've got a 10K coming up for you in a couple of weeks. So what are you running this weekend?
We have. We're going to do our first run since Sunday on Sunday. We've given ourselves the week off. Lots of walking, and then we're going to go out Sunday morning 3 or 4 miles.
Okay. I'm at the Valencia half on Sunday with the Hobbit, so make sure you come and say hi to us. We are back. No, we're not back live next week because somebody's getting married. Tobe, who's getting married?
Am I?
Tobe, Pagey, you get married next week?
No, not me. Not me.
I don't know who it is. Anyway, we've got to go to a wedding next week. Apparently, someone's planned a wedding on the day that the show goes out. So that's
inconvenient.
That's a stupid idea. Whoever planned that.
We do a live one from the wedding. Live show from the wedding.
Do a live pod from the wedding, Tobe. Well, like I've done it from Valencia tonight.
Yeah, but like they can actually get married on the show.
Yeah, I could do it live. I now pronounce you husband and wife. That'd be quite good.
You got your speech ready?
Yeah, I've got my speech ready. No, that's a lie.
More important, have you got your outfit ready?
Yeah, I've got my cowboy boots ready. So we're not here next week because Admin's getting married. So make sure you tune in. We're going to record a podcast special after this. We're going to add a lot of value to your lives, and then we're back the following week. I will be doing bite size as always on a Monday. So if you want to hang out, talk running shoes, or you got some coaching questions or whatever you want to chat about, whether you want to talk about the Valencia half that I'm doing this weekend, whatever it is, join me on a Monday at 8 o'clock live answering your questions. So that I'll be back then. But yeah, that's it, Tobe. You got anything else to say other than thanks, Pagey? Tobe, you got anything else to add?
No, I mean, I think he did really well from what I saw about his Yorkshire Marathon. So
yeah, exactly. Admin, did you think Pagey did all right?
Yeah, I think he added more value than the rest of us.
Okay, right.
I'll pay you later.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you later. Tobe, take us out.